If you're going to the gym all the time and your body's not changing, this video is going to help you break through and ultimately get results from all the time you're putting in. Listen, 90% of the guys who go to the gym religiously are never going to look the way they want to look. And I'm going to walk you through a few reasons why that is starting now. The biggest thing I see from guys who go to the gym religiously is they don't have an identity change. Okay, they're not going all in on what I call getting into character, meaning they're going to the gym and kind of half-assing things. They're looking at the gym as a chore versus just a part of who they are. It's kind of like, I'm just gonna check it off the list, kind of casually go in, do what I can get through in the time that I have, and then kind of just go through the rest of my life without really paying attention to the details. And listen, I'm not here to tell you you have to be a gym rat, that you have to be obsessed with fitness, but ultimately taking care of yourself should be something that you're proud of. I mean, if you really think about it, this is the one thing in life you only get one of. There's gonna be many cars that you own. You're probably gonna have a few homes that you live in. You'll have a lot of nice things. You'll have clothes, you'll have shoes, you'll have trips. All that stuff is awesome and you should take good care of those things. But your body is how you experience those things. And it's the only body you get. So getting into character, meaning starting to mentally think about what will the fit version of me do in specific scenarios is really important. Before you look the way you want to look, you can start acting the way you want to act. It's just like someone getting ready for a movie role. If I wanted to ultimately be the best actor I could possibly be, I'd want to get deep into that character. I'd want to start thinking about, what does this person eat? How does this person sleep? What does their day-to-day look like? What is their schedule like? How do they talk? How do they interact? You can start being the confident, lean, healthy, muscular version of yourself, and just by the way you act, starting right now. So if you're not getting results in the gym, I want you to ask yourself, is this a casual thing? Are you just checking the box whenever possible? Or is this part of who you are now? This is just the life that you live. Hopefully the answer is yes to the second question, and that way you can start getting better results, just mentally getting into the zone. Now, you're probably thinking, Josiah, give me some practical tips here. I wanna actually get in incredible shape. Like, what should I be doing in the gym? And we'll get to that. I'm saving those for the end of the video. Keep in mind, I've worked with thousands of guys over the years. I've been doing this for 17 years as a fitness coach. I started as a trainer, moved to an online coach, and now I run a large fitness transformation empire where we help hundreds of guys every single year look the way they wanna look and use fitness as a tool to improve all areas of life. And I'm not just speaking from working with guys, I've done it myself. I used to be 60 plus pounds overweight many years ago, and ultimately fitness saved my life, it transformed my life, and allowed me to live an incredible lifestyle today. So I wanna save you the headaches that I've experienced and ultimately help you avoid being part of the 90% that's never gonna get results. So let's jump to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is you don't have what I call aggressive patience. The best way I can describe it is you have to go after your goals with aggression, meaning you have to go all in. You gotta look at your day, plan things out, do that extra 5 minutes of prep time to make sure you're prepared for what lies ahead. Meaning if you're traveling for work, or if you know you're gonna be at a business lunch, like knowing what you're gonna do in these situations before you get there. You probably plan ahead for most of the things in your life. Why not start doing it for your fitness? But in the same breath, you also need to be patient because fitness is the one thing you're not gonna be able to microwave. You're not gonna make up for 10 plus years of poor eating habits and being inconsistent with the gym in 10 days. It just doesn't work that way. The good news is, if you are consistent, if you're doing what needs to be done, and you're staying on the path and you're enjoying it, you'll get results faster than the time it took you to get to where you are now. So if it took you 20 years to look the way you look now, it's probably not gonna take you 20 years to look really good, but it will take more time than you think. So be aggressive, pursue your goals, but have some patience to go along with it. That's aggressive patience. Number 3, and this is a big one I see from everybody, not just the guys I work with, but literally everyone who I interact with in the gym. They typically give up right before a breakthrough or right before a tipping point. I'll go to a business story. I've been in business for quite some time now. I've had my ups and downs, just like anybody else who started a business. There's been many moments where I've wanted to quit. And I can think back to a time right after my second son was born in 2016. Where I was still working side jobs to keep the lights on. And I was pursuing my fitness business with reckless abandon. I was putting everything I had into it, all my extra time, my energy, but I just wasn't seeing the breakthrough that I needed to become a full-time online fitness entrepreneur. I've been doing this fitness thing for quite some time and I couldn't figure out, why am I not getting more clients? And ultimately, all it took was one mentor to give me one tip that gave me a breakthrough and started helping me achieve consistent income every single month, to where I felt confident eliminating some of my side hustles and going more all in on my online business. But there was a moment where I really wanted to quit. I wanted to throw it all in, go back and work full-time for corporate America and say, you know what, enough of this. Fitness will always be a passion of mine, but I can't do it online. I can't do this business. It's just not for me. I'm not cut out for it. But one person gave me one tip and I didn't quit. And next thing you know, I'm sitting here talking to you, running a 7-figure online business years later, because I decided not to quit. I had a breakthrough right after that moment. And if you're going to the gym week after week, day after day, and you're not seeing the results you want, I can promise you, if you keep going, if you dial in the details, you will get a breakthrough, you will thank yourself, and you'll be happy you didn't quit. So when you have that moment of, I just say, I'll just throw in the towel, I'll do something else, I'll come back to this later, that's when you need to continue on. Keep pushing forward. That is your sign to run towards the target, not away from it. The next tip, this one is massive, and I see it from us in all areas of life. As a society with social media, constant distractions, constant comparison, we chase shiny objects all the time. The grass seems greener on the other side, whether it's in our relationships, with our homes, with the nice things or careers that we have. We always want the latest, greatest, nicest, shiniest stuff. It's part of who we are as humans in a way, because we oftentimes think we're missing out on something. If we see someone else doing something, we don't know the backstory. We're comparing our chapter 1 to their chapter 20. We're not sure what took them from where they were to where they are now. So we have nothing to actually look at in terms of real data to say, is it worthwhile for me to compare myself to them? In most cases, it's not. In most cases, we're just simply chasing something because it looks cool. So when it comes to workouts, we avoid the basics and we avoid sticking with them for a very long period of time. We think there's some kind of crazy workout plan out there that's gonna get us there faster. And while I will say there is a time and place for injecting some variety into your plan to mix things up, to make it fun, most of the time, you should stick to a process. You should stick to the same type of workouts, the same exercises, with attention to detail, getting stronger, getting better with form, feeling more mind to muscle connection. You should be tracking your lifts. You should be making sure you're getting better on your numbers over time. And this isn't to say you should expect improvement every single workout, or you should expect to be next Mr. Olympia after training for a few weeks. That's not how it works. But you should be paying attention to the details and sticking to the basics most of the time. If you're constantly chasing new things, you're always hitting the reset button. Your body's having to get used to a new workout strategy, new movements, maybe even new rest periods, or maybe you're even using different equipment that your body's just not used to. That acclimation period takes some time, and then all of a sudden, right before you're starting to make progress, you start the process all over again and you're back to a new workout plan. Make a commitment to stick to the same workouts, with progression of course, for a period of 12 weeks. I promise you it will change your life. If it makes you feel any better, the workouts I was doing when I was 13 years old, just starting to work out in the gym, just starting to lift some heavy iron, are really close to the workouts I'm doing now, almost 30 years later, which is nuts. Like, I'm still doing the same movements, still getting stronger here and there, still feeling the mind to muscle connection, but I've mastered these movements and my body shows the results. So don't be afraid to stick to the same things most of the time with the proper progression models in place. If I were starting over today and I wanted to go from 30% body fat to 10% body fat, which is probably one of the goals you might have, there's a video I put together on how I would do that. Make sure you go watch that video, because it's gonna be a great next step after understanding why most people don't get results. I'm glad you found this video helpful. If you did, just like the video below, drop me a comment. Let me know what's the hardest part of staying consistent. I'd love to hear from you, and maybe I'll even make a future video on one of the comments that I read. My name's Josiah Novak. If you're interested in learning more, I have links below in the description of the video on how we help guys not only change how they look, but transform their whole entire life in the process. Go to thetruetransformation.com if you're interested in our coaching program. I'll see you on the next video. Life moves fast, make it count.